New Zealand have an impressive record against India in the World Cups, undefeated in the T20s. But New Zealand have never actually won the T20 World Cup, and India are the reigning champions. Will it be a new winner or will it be retaining champions? I'm joined by Amit and Rohit, and we're going to dissect the upcoming World Cup T20 final in Ahmedabad. Hello, guys, and welcome to another edition of Two Halves and Two Innings Cricket Podcast. I'd like to thank our sponsors at Synaptech. If you want to know any more information about the offers and services they provide, then please do check the information below on the video link. Now, guys, I know you guys are excited about this World Cup final, but there is a bit of a bad history between India and New Zealand, and we have been on the wrong side of a couple of fixtures going from 2007. 2021, were you saying, Rohit? Then 2016 as well in
16,
India.
yeah.
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 So, but we have been successful in the last T20 meetings that we did at the beginning of the year when we won 4-1. So, Rohit, I'm coming to you. What are your feelings regarding this final that's happening tomorrow?
Mate, I'm very nervous because of the stadium. Nothing else. Because it's that stadium where you win the toss and you can bloody win the World Cup. I mean, why? It's happening again. Like Dhoni said, I remember you said that, Ajay, as well, last podcast. Dhoni said, toss can decide the bloody game. So it's going to be, I am very nervous. I'm actually very nervous because of the past history, that our scars from 2023 World Cup final as well. And it's the same Australasia team, right? New Zealand. Last time it was Australia. This time is New Zealand. And we haven't beaten them yet. So I'm very nervous.
Yeah, and you're very right to feel like that because again, it could just swing any way because it could be a case of whoever wins the toss, like you said, wins the World Cup. And I mean, I know we were talking previously on the review of the semi-final against India and England about what changes you'd like to make. Have you thought about any other changes, or do you still feel that Abhishek Sharma and Varun Chakaravarthy are still going to make this starting 11?
Ajay, I think the two big questions that Gauti and Team and Sky need to think about is: do we drop Abhishek, do they drop Abhishek, and do they drop Varun? Abhishek, I mean, I can't remember a time when someone who's been put on such a high pedestal, deservedly, because his form prior to the tournament was so amazing, has dropped like a lead balloon. I mean, he came in as the world's T20 number one T20 batsman, and his star really has fallen. I mean, it's expected. He has such an amazing run of games and scores. When he since he's been part of the setup, but that's a concern. Personally, I wouldn't drop him. I think he just needs a quiet word with someone. Needs to have a quiet word with him, because if you look at the last two dismissals he's had in the previous two games, he's got a couple of boundaries, and he's gone for the third boundary. He's not connected, and he's got out. So just play a little bit of smart cricket. You've already got two boundaries in the over. Just kind of keep it on the ground, or go for the single. Just be sensible, because you're not in form at the moment, and this is such a crucial game. The other question mark is over Chakravarti, as she said. I think he needs to be dropped personally. I think we can't afford to have a bowler giving 60 runs away after four overs. That's
Yeah.
my thoughts.
No, that's again, it's going to be a consideration. I mean, I think the pitch is reading that there's going to be minimal turn and there's going to be good bounce. So, do you think then that kind of would they drop then, Varun, Rohit? Given,
Yeah.
I'll ask you two things. Firstly, what would you do in terms of if you won the toss? What should Sky do? Because I know you've always been an advocate of batting first,
Yeah.
especially in the final.
Yeah.
And then
But
and
this,
then yeah, would you, if you drop Varun, if there's good bounce and minimal turn, is it worth putting Kuldeep, or do you bring in another pacer?
oh, it's a tough one. But first of all, what I said about finals, and that's outside Narendra Modi Stadium. And in that stadium with the dew on, and looking at the past history of that, I would probably bowl first in
Yeah.
that stadium because of dew. And I would definitely bowl first if we win the toss. And I think the pitch is, like you said, Ajay, if that's true, the pitch is going to have very minimal turn. I think I'll play Kuldeep in there, because even though it's because he can use flippers, he can bamboozle the batters, because if we play, even there's a bounce, and we know how good New Zealand are playing fast bowling. They are amazing in playing pacers. So, yeah, I think I'm still in dilemma. I'm still in conundrum to say, should we start, if we want to replace Varun, should we have Kuldeep or should we have Siraj? Siraj played the first game against USA. Maybe he will play the last game in the World Cup and win us the World Cup. You never know. But I am in conundrum at the moment. I can't decide. So I want to ask the audience as well. So if you are listening, please let us know what you think.
I mean, who are the danger men for New Zealand? I mean, we saw an absolute hammering in the semi-finals from an absolute beautiful display by Tim Seifert and Finn Allen.
Oh,
Absolutely bludgeoning, probably one of the best bowling
yeah.
attacks that this
Yes.
T20 has seen.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not seeing Kiso Rabada look absolutely that dejected and Lungi and giddy. I was ready to do a Lungi dance if South Africa won, but that did not happen at all.
That-
So, what are India going to do effectively to neutralize that New Zealand opening partnership?
They just got to play their best game. I think I said, in our last podcast that the semi-final was probably India's best performance, batting wise as a unit, with the exception of Abhishek, bowling wise, with the exception of Varun Chakaravarthy. Hence, why them two names have come up quite a lot in our conversations, and the fielding was on point. So if India play to their strengths, we should win and make and that's that for me, that's the key. But we just got to. I mean, there are questions about, and I don't know what you boys think about this. So Arshdeep, everyone who follows us knows that we're all three of us individually and collectively are a big fan of Arshdeep. I just felt that he gave too many wides. Now, the commentators interestingly said, so they said that Sky would take that knowing what he gives. But for
Yes.
me, but do you agree with that? Because I think
Yes.
that you do.
Yes. We know why. You know why, Amit? Because he was bowling to the plan. That was the plan set up. He was bowling to it. 1 or 2 wides wouldn't have made any difference. If he had gone with the other way around, it would have been a 6 easy, because what he kept going to his plan. That's why he got the wicket of Jacks as well. A very, very crucial
I
wicket.
understand that though, but
Yeah.
then it takes one loose ball, and then and because you've already given 2 extra runs, that one loose ball can become a 6. That's how I'm perceiving
No,
it.
yeah, but I, as a captain, will say, if I set up the plan with the bowler, I'd rather let him bowl in that plan rather than go outside the plan. It's better to bowl that way. That's the fielding set. That's the plan. It's fine. If you remember in the last World Cup final as well, it was I think it was 19th over of Hardik Pandya when he got wicket of David Miller. If you guys remember that catch, the wonderful catch by Sky.
That was the last over. That was the last over.
That was the
the
last
20th
over?
Yeah,
that was the last over. Yeah,
because that was the first ball of the last over. I think
first
it was,
ball of the last over. Yeah, if I remember that. So first ball of the last over, the plan was set. Bowl him wide. He said that, Rohit said, even if I had given him wide, if Hardik would have given a wide, he doesn't care. We need to go by the plan. We can't just go outside the plan, off the plan. No chance.
I understand the plan, Rohit, but what I mean is though,
things happen. I mean, those things happen. Yeah.
Maybe I'll be super critical here.
Yeah, those things happen. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, you just can't let it happen too much though. I mean, how many extras did he get? The game was close.
Yeah, game was close.
That's what I think. No,
yeah.
I'm not denying the plan. I understand the plan, but at the end of the day, and again, listen, they're human, they're not robots. All I'm trying to say is that he just needs to focus a little bit more and just try and get it on the line so it's kind of wide, but it's not a wide, if that makes it. Makes sense.
I mean, the one, actually, we got lucky. The one wide the umpire gave, it wasn't actually a wide.
Yeah, no, that wasn't.
And we got an extra ball where we got the wicket.
Yeah.
Did we?
Yeah.
Arshdeep's over for 3. I think it was second wide. Or
second wide. Yes, it wasn't a wide actually.
Maybe I'm being super critical. But think, you know what? With me, what I get nervous about with the T20 format is because there's not a lot of balls. There's not a lot of opportunity to kind of, if a mistakes happen or whatever, people can maximize on mistakes quite easily. So that's where I get nervous. And you talked about how you feel. Ajay asked you a question about how you're feeling about the game. I feel like I'm very nervous about this game. For the stadium, history against New Zealand, the ghosts of 2023. There's quite a number of, and obviously we played South Africa there, I think, in the Super
Yeah, we
Eights.
got
No,
destroyed.
then not. So not in
But they,
Super Eights, the group, and we got battered.
and they batted first, and we bowled first, and we still lost in that game. If
Yeah,
you guys
this is what
remember.
I'm thinking. Maybe putting the score on the scoreboard might be a bit better. Maybe winning the toss. Because if there's good bounce and minimal turn,
Mm,
I think Abhishek is kind of good against the fast bowlers. If you looked at his kind of record
Yeah.
against New Zealand in
mm,
these in the previous fixtures that we had, I mean he scored pretty okay to be fair. I mean he got a duck in the fourth T20, but just looking at the previous ones, I mean he scored 68 in the third T20 we played against New Zealand. I think he scored quite a good total in the first T20. So it could actually work in India's favour if there is less turn and the spinners aren't going to be as much. Maybe off spin might be a good shout. So the likes of Akshar Patel might be very key in this game. And then obviously for New Zealand, they've got William Satner. I believe I think he kind of does an off spin
yeah, no, it's
type
a
of bowling.
left arm. Santner is a left
Left
armer.
arm.
Yeah.
Is he just more of a cutter? I don't know, I'm not too
No,
sure
he's a
what
left arm or spinner. But then there is a Glenn Phillips as well, who's an off spinner.
Yeah, Glenn Phillips off spinner.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Glenn
so
Phillips as well.
And Abhishek has failed against them too, haven't? As in not them two personally, as in the off spin and the
Off
left arm,
spinners.
hasn't he?
Yeah.
You know, I think
Yeah.
he's been that's either he's been found out by captains, or that's his big weakness at the moment. Seems to be them two kind of bowlers
yeah.
who bowl that kind of style.
But I mean, moving on to the positives for India, I mean, one kind of gem who's excelled in the last couple of games is obviously Sanju Samson. And I know we've been high praise of him. And do you think he will be the one to lead India to a big total if we do bat first? Because again, there's been some high scoring games between New Zealand and India. So, what do you think in terms of, Sanju's role is going to be in this team? Is it going to be consolidate and stay there till the end, or do you think he's going to go more explosive and try to take the initiative in the first power play? Rohit, what do you think with Sanju? Because Abhishek is not going to change, so
Yes.
he's going to either get out for 5 runs, 6 runs, or he might make it 90 runs. But I think with Sanju, what do you think his role will be in this final?
I think his role will be the same as in the semi-final and one before the quarter-final. He needs to bat long. He needs a big score. We are dependent on him at the moment. If you see that, Abhishek is not scoring. Wish he scores, right? Touch wood, right? I'm fingers crossed he scores a big runs in the final. But if we go with that thing to say, okay, Abhishek will score, but Sanju, we need Sanju till the end, or at least to 15th, 16th over. He will be the key because he's the one who is in form. He's the one who give us impetus. He's the one who give us like big scoring. So we can then come back in the later overs and attack. If he gets out early, Abhishek gets out early, we are definitely in pressure then. Then is a pressure game. Doesn't matter batting first or batting second, then we're under pressure. So I think he needs to bat long. He needs to think like that he needs to bat long. He can't just come and smash. Let Abhishek smash. Let him do his job, right?
That's
If
his
he
natural
scores
game. Yeah.
50 runs, that's brilliant. Let Sanju settle because we need him. He's the one in form better at the moment.
Yes.
And his mind will be like, okay, I am the king today. I want to score big runs. And then let's score it. Yeah.
If you think about right-hand batsmen, sorry, Amit, just before I come to you, sorry, because Sky's not had the best form either. His strike rates have been quite poor if you look at Sky's innings. So, I mean, in terms of the right-hand batsman, I think Sanju's probably the best one to consolidate runs.
At the
And he can
moment,
also
yes.
score quite big in the last,
Yeah.
6, 7 overs. But then obviously Hardik has been quite good as well. And then for left-hand batsmen, I think obviously the likes of Ishan Kishan and Shivam Dube are going to be, really, really key as well in those death overs. Especially
And Tilak.
Shivam Dube.
Yeah.
And Tilak as well. So, I mean, if you look at the batting lineup, India have got 7 batsmen all the way up to Akshar. That could potentially get another 250.
8, yeah.
On
8,
yeah.
Yeah.
And 8 as well, yeah. So, like you said, Abhishek couldn't just kind of have that free roll, I guess. If he gets out early, there's plenty of batsmen in the wings to kind of consolidate, or he could go big and hopefully put some pressure on New Zealand. But Amit, yeah, sorry, you before I interrupted you, would you like to carry on?
Yeah, I was just going to quickly say that I don't think we should have changed our approach. We can't afford to have both our opening batsmen going gung ho. And the thing about Samson is that he scored the runs, but they've all been controlled. I think Abhishek can learn a lot from Samson. Remember Samson, he didn't have a great tournament against New Zealand, and then he lost his place. And we were all calling for that actually. But again, we said it before, credit to Sky and Gorty that they've brought him back in when things weren't working, and he's taken his chance with both hands. He said after the semi-final that Samson said after the semi-final against England that he was trying too hard in the series against New Zealand, and he just went back to basics. So I think that those kind of conversations and batting clever, he needs to be having with Abhishek, and the management team needs to be having with Abhishek as well. And I think, I agree that we've got depth in our batting lineup, but for me, I think the key thing with the win against New Zealand, well, hopefully, yes, the win against New Zealand, touch wood. The win against West Indies and England was that he stayed pretty much near to the end, and I think we want him or Abhishek to do the same again against New Zealand.
Yeah, Rohit, did you want to?
I want to just say, Abhishek, call your mentor, yaar. Call Yuvraj.
You got Yuvraj.
Yeah, call Yuvraj. Get some. I'm sure he's calling. I'm sure Yuvraj is calling him as well. So Yuvraj, give him, yaar. And I want to put an anecdote here. We met Yuvraj and Harbhajan in where was it? Amsterdam, if you remember. Yeah, Amsterdam, when we were playing India, Pakistan, Australia, the tri-series. So guys, please call Yuvraj, Abhishek. Chal yaar, Punjabi. Just talk in Punjabi. Understand, how you can get out of this. I know you are a star. You can get out of this. Just focus. Yeah. Just focus.
I think Abhishek just needs to literally just take the whole tournament out of his head and just say, this is just a brand new game.
Exactly. That's it.
This is the first of it. He needs to think this is the first of a bilateral series. Yep. He's just going to literally just kind of play with freedom. But I think you're right, Amit. I think the problem with Abhishek, he goes more aerial and there's more likelihood of obviously getting caught. Whereas Sanju is a bit more controlled and he likes to play down the ground. So if you look at the ratios of 4s and 6s, Sanju probably has more 4s. And Abhishek probably has more 6s. But again, the reward to risk ratio is there, isn't it? So Abhishek is likely to gamble away his wicket a lot more than Sanju. So it's a good
big ground as well, though, isn't it? So
it's a big ground, and we know New Zealand fielding. Glenn Phillips, if he's in that inner circle, especially towards backward point or short mid on, short mid off, it's going to be quite difficult. And obviously, in India, just got to look at with their bowling attack, not to rely too much on Bumrah. And obviously, Arshdeep and Hardik, even Shivam Dubey might be very important, but they need to change their pace and variation in order to keep it different. Like you said, Rohit Akshar bowled 6 different balls. If Varun is going to be in this team, he needs to change up his pace and variations in order to make the batsman second guess. So it's going to be a fantastic game, though, overall. So I think what I want to do is end it on, Amit, I want to ask you quickly then, who's going to win the toss? And obviously, I'll have to ask you what's going to be the result of this fixture on Sunday. So.
I mean, the toss is 50-50, you can't, God knows, but...
what would you like? Would you like India to bat or India to bowl? Let's just,
Well, I think if you've got history, I think India need to bat second. That's what we need to do.
Chase. So we're going to chase, yeah.
Chase, again, and I did want to face New Zealand. This is what I wanted, so hopefully I've got what I wanted, but hopefully the end result with what we want is obviously India win. I just want India to play exactly the same as they played against England in terms of just on point, focus, a good team effort, and if they do that, on paper they should win. That's all I want. And and Jasprit, once in a generation bowler. Sanju Samson said that when he picked up his Man of the Match award, that he wouldn't be standing here if it wasn't for the brilliance of Bumrah, in his bowling. And let's just go out with a bang and let's see it through, because at the end, all we want is that trophy now. We want that 3rd star on the T20 jersey.
And Rohit, I know I've asked you probably just a little bit before, but yeah, quickly summarize, what do you want to see from India tomorrow?
Good batting, good fielding, good bowling. All 3. But yeah, I think obviously my heart is always red blue, right? So it's always India. I would love India to win that T20. I mean, if you see the final, it will be history-making final. New Zealand, if they win, it'll be the first ever they win. And if India win, they'll be the first team to win back-to-back. Retain their title. So it's a history-making final. So let's see who wins. And the home soil as well. No one won in the home soil.
The tournament on home soil.
Yep. Exactly. So I am hoping, like in 2015, when New Zealand beat South Africa to reach the final, and they met the host. I mean, they both were hosting, but they met Australia in the final, and Australia beat them convincingly. So I'm hoping tomorrow, India, same way, India will beat New Zealand, and we lift the trophy 3rd time, and then on a home soil, and retaining the trophy. So let's see what happens. But I am definitely believe Bumrah. He's the key. Boom, Bumrah.
Well, that's it. Yeah, and I think that'll wrap it up nicely from all of us, guys. We will see you
What do
on
you
the
think, Ajay?
reaction.
You haven't shared your thoughts. What do you think?
We don't need to know about my thoughts. You know what my thoughts are going to be, but I don't know. I think you know what. Unfortunately, when you kind of look at history and you look at how it is, I mean, Arsenal might win the Premier League in the first time for 20 odd years. It could be a change of wind and change of tide for a new champion maybe. So never write the Kiwis off. I mean, they're a flightless bird, but I think they might be lifting off maybe tomorrow. So I don't know what's going to happen. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be exciting. But you know what? India hopefully will have the home ground, the home support. So it's going to be tough for the Kiwis, but I just don't know. I have a feeling. I have a very, very bad feeling. Let's just
No, Ajay,
say.
no, no.
But you know what? Quickly, the support. The support makes a bit. It's a massive. What, 130,000 capacity, I think, isn't it? Against
Yeah, this is.
Mumbai, the fans were in Mumbai. The fans were. I thought all the stadium kind of there was such an amazing atmosphere. But you felt like it on the television.
Yeah.
So they've got to. The 12th man has got to be used.
You had Dhoni's wife celebrating a dot ball and thinking Jasprit
Yeah.
Bumrah
It
caught
was
the
a
ball.
bump catch. It was a bump catch. Yeah, that was funny.
It
That was
was a
funny.
catch.
Yeah.
But yeah, we have to sign off quickly because we're recording this in the morning and Rohit's had his morning jar and he's got other meetings to do today. So let's crack on and we will sign out for today's episode. But we've got three Indian fans who are nervous, but maybe slightly a bit optimistic as well for tomorrow. So everyone chant your Hanuman Jalisas, do your morning aartis tomorrow, and we will see you 5:30, 5:45 sharp, whatever the time will be when we finish the game. And hopefully India win their third T20 World Cup. Guys, please like, comment, most importantly, please subscribe. We want to know your thoughts and also get your reaction to an epic T20 World Cup final. Take care.